Wow, man, these last weeks in the market were totally insane. Tell me, did you book some profits? What profits? Wait, sorry, I wasn't listening. Markets, what? Profits? Yeah, man, haven't you been following? We had 8 green weeks on Nasdaq. And what weeks, man? It was literally going just parabolic. So I hope that you caught some of it, right? No, man, I wasn't Wait. I think it's time to buy then, right? I mean, I should put some money in, is it? What do you mean put some money in, bro? I told you to buy at around 11,000. What's wrong with you? You should be taking profits at this point. You didn't put any money at the bottom? No, man, I thought it's too risky, but I'm gonna buy now. I'm gonna buy now. Now is the time because now it's actually safe to buy. So I'm gonna go and put my money right now, okay? Bro, you're literally the example of what we call the exit liquidity, but thank you so much. Yeah, do whatever, buy. Now is the time to buy, you're correct. Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Dan, and in this video, as always, I'm bringing you the best updates from the markets, what's happening, what I think is going to happen. We're gonna go over, as always, through Nasdaq, US stock market, also crypto, what are the news, what's happening. So stay tuned, look at throughout the whole video because there's a lot of interesting things happening. Now, with that being said, let's immediately go to the PC and start, as always, with Nasdaq 100, guys. I'm just gonna leave this over here. I know there's a lot of lines, by the way, but ignore the lines. Just look at this. Just look at this. Let me just hide the drawings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green weeks in a row on Nasdaq 100. Insane run, guys. Okay, I must admit I was quite bearish the last 2 weeks or so. I was expecting pullback. It just doesn't want to go down. It's just insane. The worst thing is, if you are an inexperienced trader, you actually learn the hard way how Nasdaq can short squeeze you. And believe me, so many people actually capitulated waiting for a further down or a drop down, because Nasdaq, once it goes on a streak and once it goes on some crazy short squeeze spree, that's it. You can't stop it. Like you saw it right here. Luckily, I have experience with it. I wiped many accounts by being squeezed out by Nasdaq, so I learned my lesson. I actually did follow the trend. I went a couple of longs, I won a couple of shorts as well. It was a good trade actually. I ended up in green the last week, but it is very easy actually. I was about to say it's very difficult to trade it at the moment, but in reality it's very easy. You literally press buy and it goes up. So a lot of you will have to readapt from the previous bear market and from that style of trading to pressing only buy, because literally, guys, let's not lie to ourselves, bull markets are the easiest to trade. Bull market is a period where you will see all these gurus coming out of the internet like me trying to explain to you some things, sell you their courses and stuff. So just be careful, because during the bull market you just press buy and you can be the smartest person ever at the end of the bull market or somewhere in the middle, because it's going to continue going back up. With all that being said, let's go back to the chart. Nasdaq does look really, I don't know, it pushed throughout all the limits that I thought it's going to push. So we actually ended up at 15,300 area. Actually, we ended up at one point at 15,000, almost 500 area. We just went back down towards the market close. So guys, basically from this point onwards, I really expect one red week, and I really hope it's going to be the next one. Like, we really need to see some cool down, and I would advise you again, if you have some profits, take some profits. Yes, basically, if Nasdaq even goes now 1,000 points or 1,200, like even if we go now back to 14,200, it's 1,000 points drawdown, which we would want to see. But I mean, it's nothing comparably to the run that we had. So let me just measure it. So guys, we went 46% up, 46% up from the previous bottom. It just did insane run up, and most of it was thanks to AI hype. And now at the moment we are just, let me see, we are just about 9% down from the all-time high, which, to be honest, in this environment, to me, with rate hikes and with Chair Powell being so bearish at the last meeting, which we're gonna talk about later, I mean, it's just insane. Okay, so back to the chart. I've been saying it, RSI overbought. So 77, this area of 77, something we had last time during 2020, okay, during the recovery of 2020 when it was the greatest bull run. So this is either going to be one bigger correction, okay, so either we're going to see something like going all the way down to 13,500 or so, somewhere in this area, okay, or we're going to have a tinier pullback to, let's say, around 14,200 and then continue with the bull market parabolically, which is an option, right? Definitely the pullback will happen, guys. I mean, it has to happen. I mean, it doesn't have to, but I would love to see it because this is just getting insane. I mean, if this is a beginning of the bull run, that means that the end of it is going to be glorious for all of us and we're all gonna make so much money. Because if this is just the beginning and if we have just a tiny pullback, like something like this, just to continue parabolic, 17, 18,000 definitely is very, very possible in the near future. So anyways, I'm not gonna repeat myself and I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm gonna just zoom in on a daily chart on a Nasdaq 100. So as you can see, the last day of the week, Friday, because it was red because on Monday the markets are closed due to the Juneteenth. It's a holiday in the US market, and as I've said a million times, I mean, guys, I really want to see a pullback at least to 14,200. Like, at least that would be a healthy correction in all this environment, and with all the hype being over and with all the big tech companies reports being done, earnings reports being done. So basically Adobe for the end of the week had also really good strong quarterly results, and they also mentioned AI. Everybody's now mentioning AI and everybody's just building a hype off of it. So Nasdaq, I'm just to be fully transparent, I'm already on my swing account, I'm in a short position, okay, and I actually averaged pretty well. So I will be aiming somewhere this area, 14,200 at least, okay, on my swing account. On my day trading account, of course, I close my positions before the weekend always. I really try not to leave them over the weekend. So I would sell in this area, okay? So this is the area to sell. Now, you have to be very careful because Nasdaq, if it continues with the short squeeze, it's just gonna squeeze you out. So if I would sell here, my stop loss would be just above these wicks, which is somewhere at 15,500, okay? So this would be my stop loss and I would be selling it and aiming at the beginning minimum 14,700. And if we break this area, then 14,250. So these are my targets. So sell here, stop loss 15,540 or something like that. Take profit would be at 14,700 and 14,200, 250, something like that. Indicators, I'm not going to even mention indicators anymore because this is typical bull market run. So indicators here do not really play a role. We had so many bearish divergences, we ignored all of them. So during the bull market, you can literally ignore the indicators and you can just follow the price action, and that would be the only thing that you need. Press buy and profit. So Nasdaq, once again, I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't want to buy next week. I was about to give you my buying scenario, but I really don't want to do it. But the buying scenario would be something like this. If we go down, break back up, break these previous highs, consolidate over here in this level, then I would maybe consider buying if I see the momentum to going up. However, again, not gonna repeat myself like a parrot, I really think we're going down. Anyways, that would be it for Nasdaq. Hopefully you took some profits. I did. And let's move on to Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, as we all see, I showed you previously the descending triangle. We broke it down to the downside, and this was the area of support that I told you I want to see us holding, and we did. So 25,200 or so. Whoever bought there, good job. We actually managed to hold this area. Let me just hide, and below this, actually, you see we're just now above all the EMAs, above all the key levels. So basically this is good for Bitcoin. Now what we want to see is a move like this, right? As I already told you, boom, we want to see something like accumulation right over here in this area, boom, just to blast all the way to the upside. And I really do think it's going to happen because we absorbed so many bad news on Bitcoin and we still didn't fall below 25,000. So honestly, the next logical move would be something like accumulation in this area just to break to the upside and break even 32K. My target, so if you will buy here, okay, if you're willing to buy here somewhere in this area, I would suggest you to buy between 26 and 25,000, with the stop loss being below EMA 200 on a weekly chart, which is somewhere around 23,000, let's say 600, somewhere like here, because you want to avoid manipulation and liquidity grabs as well. So if we actually manage to consolidate and bring some liquidity in this area, boom, we can easily pump on the first good news to the upside and even break 32,000. And if we actually make a big pump, I would think that we can easily go to 35, then go back, consolidate over here at around 32, and then go all the way to 40,000. So this is my prediction on Bitcoin. Let's see. I'm also, again, for the transparency, I'm long on Bitcoin from around 25,200, so somewhere from that area. I almost got the bottom, so let's see how it's gonna work out. I wouldn't suggest you to do any day trades in this range. I mean, you can. This range actually is not too bad. You could do some day trades right over here in this channel between 26,600 and between 25,100. So you could actually do some day trades over here. But yeah, I will be aiming for a swing trade on Bitcoin. So if you want to do day trade, you can sell here, maybe wait it back at 25 and wait for this accumulation area to finish, and then we're gonna break either to the upside or to the downside. As always, right, there's only two choices: either we break out to the up or to the down. But I really think we're going to break out to the upside. So that will be all for Bitcoin. Now let me just move into some important things that we had. Next week, economic calendar doesn't bring us a lot of things. It only brings us Chair Powell testifying starting from Wednesday, or is it Tuesday? Wednesday, sorry. Wednesday, and then again Thursday, and I think then again on Friday, or no. So basically, next week reports are more or less irrelevant. Next week economic calendar is just nothing. We have these building permits, we don't care. We have Fed Chair Powell testifies, which we do care. We want to listen to him, and if he continues being very hawkish or bearish through his speeches, this is the breakdown point that we want to see for the stock market. We want to see a little bit of a cool down, right? And if he continues to be bearish, that will bring the markets down. Now then we have, of course, as always, initial jobless claims on Thursday. We have a lot of FOMC members speak, existing home sales and crude oil inventories, blah blah blah, we don't care. Services PMI on Friday. That's it. Basically, you just want to pay attention to initial jobless claims and Fed Chair Powell testify. Now let me just go through some news. Bull market rally continues despite hawkish Fed. What to do now? Stocks on Wall Street extended their bull market rally this week despite hawkish signals from the Fed. Investors are still fighting the Fed, as Powell warned July meeting is live. So basically, Fed Chair Powell, for you who didn't watch the previous statement, FOMC statement, I'm gonna sum it up for you what happened. So basically, Fed came out, and as I've told you, guidance is the most important. They came out, they said, we are now pausing the interest rate hike this month. Wow, yes, great, okay. But exactly what I said in the previous video, if you haven't watched it, watch it to see. They said, but we're going to have at least 2 more increases by the end of the year. And then the market was confused. They were like, okay, so they paused it, but what the hell? Now they want to increase 2 more rate hikes, because everybody was expecting a pause and then probably maybe saying something like, we're gonna assess the situation and maybe 1 more rate hike or none, and that's it, we're gonna pivot. But they came out way more bearish than usual, and they said we expect at least 2 more. And the second thing that he said that was very important for me, he said we're looking at maybe even years before we start cutting the rates, which means maybe even years before pivoting officially, right? The market did not believe him at all, okay? This is what they mean when he said here in the article, investors are still fighting Fed. So they're fighting the Fed because the market did not believe it, the Jerome Powell at all. They were like, listen, this guy is just over exaggerating. So the market continued its bump. Now, what the market is saying by their actions is, we don't trust the Fed. We believe that this pause will maybe become another pause in July, or even if they hike in July, okay, I don't believe that we're gonna see this next hike by the end of the year, and the market thinks that they're gonna start cutting rates somewhere at the beginning of 2024. So basically the market is saying whatever you're saying, we know that's not true, and we know that you will be cutting rates the latest by beginning of 2024. This is what the market is saying. Fed, on the other hand, is saying something totally else. They're saying, listen, the inflation is still sticky, it's still there. We need to fight harder, and we are telling you that we're going to have at least 2 more rate hikes, and we're not gonna cut rates anytime soon. So yeah, this is now between the markets and the Fed. Now, if the Fed is to be trusted, sorry, I wanted to say, is the Fed to be trusted? No. Because they were the ones saying, oh, inflation is transitory, oh, inflation is they changed their minds fast. So don't believe them 100%, but don't fight them as well, okay? Look at what the big players are doing. Are the big players accumulating, or are the big players selling? This is the main point, okay, guys? Don't fight the Fed and look at the big players, what they are doing. Are they buying? Are they selling? Just follow the rhythm. Follow the rhythm, okay? That's it. Now, I am going to go over the next news, what I think could trigger the potential sell-off starting next week, as I've told you already, because we don't have any big news coming up. Treasury targets 425 billion June cash balance to start post debt ceiling replenishment. So basically, after the debt ceiling has been made, now the Treasury will have to they targeting 425 billion in June cash balance to start paying off all the government funding, right? So it says, said at its ramp up T-bill issuance to rebuild its cash balance depleted during the debt ceiling standoff, aiming to add roughly 350 billion to its cash by the end of June. Basically, what does this mean, guys? Okay, just to put it in simple terms. Some people have theory, that's why I'm bringing you this article here, that by printing more treasury bills, basically treasury bills or treasury notes, they are draining the liquidity out of the markets, because financial institutions will be buying those treasury bills, okay? So they will be spending their money to help out the government, basically, because they will be forced to, right? They can't just ignore the government. So the big banks, the big money, will have to be buying these treasury bills to help the government replenish their cash balance, right? To pay off all the government workers and everything. So it goes both ways. One way, Fed and the Treasury helps out the banks, okay? Then the banks, when needed, they have to help out the government. So when these guys issue the Treasury bonds, then the big institutions and banks will be buying them, okay? And that is one, thesis for the liquidity drain. Basically, everybody thinks that all these big players will be focusing their big money onto the spending to the treasury bills, so they will basically drain the liquidity out of the markets. They will start selling all the stocks and all these other things. Just a thesis, just a theory. I don't know in real life how it's gonna play out. Will this have any effect? Probably it will. We're gonna see. Now, this is just, as I told you, one thing. Now, if we move to crypto, BlackRock applies for spot a Bitcoin ETF, a US first if approved. Now, guys, as I already told you in previous videos, crypto didn't get a single day of good news or a single day of breathing, right, as I like to call it. Crypto was basically just bashed from all the sides. Binance got attacked by Nigeria, by France now even. They're getting sued by everyone, absolutely. And it's all started with the SEC, basically SEC is just the US government, right? So it all started with the US government, SEC. And now, what happened in the background? BlackRock, for those of you who don't know, probably you heard of it if you're in the financial world, is the world's biggest asset manager. I spoke about BlackRock a couple of videos as well, They have around 9 trillion or something assets under management, and they applied for first Bitcoin ETF. What does that tell you? The biggest asset manager, the guys with the most assets, the most money, they apply for Bitcoin ETF. ETF is exchange traded fund. I hope you know that already by now. Anyways, that tells you that the big players are actually into Bitcoin and they know that the crypto is here to stay. Now, a lot of people, they're having these theories of Vanguard and BlackRock being shadow government, like they're the ones who are pushing all the narratives, they're the ones who are owning majority of the big stocks. Of course they are. When you have 9 trillion under management, you have to buy everything, even though you like it or not. They have to buy any successful company because you have 9 trillion, okay? What you gonna do? You're gonna put 9 trillion into Apple, Microsoft, Google, or whatever, I don't know, a couple of oil stocks? No, you can't do that. You can't put all this money into like 4 or 5 stocks. No, it's impossible. You have to diversify into absolutely everything. So that's what they're doing. They're diversifying in absolutely everything. Also, their clients, they have so many rich clients, you know, they want to be exposed to crypto. So what does this say is that through BlackRock is a big, huge opportunity for Bitcoin to get regulated. Now, again, we have many theories saying, okay, but if Bitcoin gets regulated through BlackRock, probably that means it's going to be regulated in government way. Basically meaning that it's going to hurt the small investors, it's going to get fully centralized, etc. Guys, you have to understand one thing. In order for crypto to grow and have this parabolic growth that everybody is expecting, it has to be centralized, okay? I understand decentralization kills meaning of crypto, but if you're here to be decentralized, then you use everything that's decentralized every single day that you can. I'm here to make money. Most of the people, 99% of people, are just here to speculate and make money, okay? So if Bitcoin being centralized and whatever, even though Bitcoin, I don't think it will ever be centralized, but even all this stuff gets centralized, it means that that's the only way we're gonna make money. I'm down with it. It's okay. Anyway, you're controlled by the government in every single aspect of your life. Starting with your phone, with your credit cards, with the bank account, with the job, with everything. They own you anyways. So guys, let's just not fool ourselves. Don't talk about decentralization. It's us against them. You're not gonna beat the government, okay? You're not gonna beat them. That's it. This could be a big opportunity for Bitcoin to go big. And let's see how it's gonna play out, and I think this is good for crypto. Yes, bad for decentralization, but good for crypto. Anyways, guys, that was all for today, and I just wanted to tell you, to sum it up, basically, as I've already told you, Nasdaq 100, I do expect some cool down. I do expect to see it going a little bit lower, and as for Bitcoin, I do expect as well that we're going to have a bigger pump now, and finally break out 32K in the near future, and then finally 40K, 50, and we're gonna probably lift off from that point. Maybe we're gonna have a little bit smaller correction, but I think that's pretty much it. Anyways, we're gonna assess it week by week. This is a weekly video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.